What is up? I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are great. I hope you guys kicked some ass and took some names today. I really do. Um, First of all, I'm getting it out of the way. It sucks about my Niners. I don't need to hear it. It is what it is. At the end of the day, Chiefs won the game. That's how it goes. So, congratulations to the Chiefs as I puke a little in my mouth. Candy Rapper, thank you for the shout out video. I appreciate you displaying the. Desley! I appreciate you displaying the tie dyes you got. Will you grab the dogs, please? I appreciate you displaying the tie dyes, the shout out. That was great. I appreciate the support. It's awesome. Um, yeah, I am, of course, running my shit. So there is that. Ouch. Ouch. I will be, um, like I said, it's 2 more days until the 14th. That means it's the first of 3 days for MMIW awareness. What's up, Hog Boss? I just subscribed up to you earlier today. I appreciate you being here, showing support. I really do. Today we are having MMIW Monday. I don't know if you know about the MMIW, but MMIW stands for Missing Murdered Indigenous Women. It's an ongoing problem in our country and in Canada and around the world for that matter. And it seems like these women and children are going missing and nobody cares. Nobody's doing anything about it. And we're here to create some awareness. So that's what we are doing. The 14th is one of 2 missing and murdered Indigenous women days in the year. I will be down at my courthouse with a sign raising awareness and probably not talking to anybody because I'm sure nobody will stop by. But got to start somewhere, got to start somehow. And if not now, then when? And if not me, then who, right? So that's what I'll do. That's what I'll be doing. I'm going to find some video to play here. Yes. Okay. Let's see. I hope everybody's coming in. Had a good day. Trace County's missing these real stories, true crime documentary. I think we watched that one. Missing women world. I'm not sure if we watched this one, but let's see here. I'll probably get struck for that one. I'm trying here, guys. It's a gamble. All right. Let me get this back over here. What's up, Outback? I'm boss. This is sad. The state of mind is what it is today. Yes, it is. Absolutely. It really is. Oh, shut up. What if I don't want to? Do I still have to? Okay, then I won't. All right. All right. All right. What's up, Windows? Outback's in the house. Give it up for Outback. I'm really happy that you spent all day yesterday during Super Bowl with me, man. That was some shit. I'll tell you what. But I appreciate I'll always be that guy that you watched your first ever football game with, American football game with. So that's cool. That's cool. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Damn. Screen share. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right here, then right here. We've got to go here. Push this right here. This program contains adult themes and graphic crime scene photos and videos. Your discretion is advised. I do not own the rights to these videos. I am just playing them in hopes to create awareness and spread the word of the MMIW. So please, please don't strike me. If you do, I guess you do. There you go. All right. Let's get this off the screen here.
Tonight on Wood TV 8, an hour-long Target 8 investigation.
You probably won't watch the whole hour of it.
The Grand Rapids serial murders. Here's Target 8 investigator Susan Samples.
In the mid-1990s, over 3 terrifying years, the streets of Grand Rapids were under siege. Its women hunted down again and again. In the 30 years since the murders, there's been no justice and little public awareness. Hopefully, that's about to change.
I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Not too much.
No one recognized it that Christmas of '93. On Grand Rapids' unsuspecting streets, all aglow with good tidings, a sinister season loomed. Someone was coming to town, all right.
I love you so very much. Stay the same. Merry Christmas. May God be with you always. Your sister, Linda. This is the card that Linda sent to me.
They had always been tight, Norma Abbott and her big sister, Linda McHugh.
Nurturing and always looking out for me. And she was just a really nice person, not selfish in no way at all.
It was a couple weeks before Christmas, and McHugh was visiting Abbott, but as night neared,
got herself prettied up and got herself together. And she's like, okay, my friends are coming to get me. I'm going to go with my friends. And I said, you'll behave, right? She's like, yes, I will. She said, I love you, Norma. See you later.
But Norma wouldn't see her later. And when 29-year-old Linda McHugh didn't show up on Christmas Day,
Mom was like, that something's wrong, because Linda would not miss Christmas over here.
Theirs was a big family, but Abbott says she, McHugh, and their half-brother Jim were especially close. in a home scarred by alcohol-fueled abuse. McHugh, they said, started coping with alcohol herself around 13, but she also graduated high school, had jobs, a wedding, a baby girl she adored, and in the end, a crack cocaine addiction she would never get the chance to beat.
She made this in jail.
So,
Sent me
Mom,
this. You can see it's from December 9th in 93. Norma, you make me feel good inside. You're the best sister anyone could ask for. That comes from my heart.
You saved that all these years?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the only thing I got.
Her hands touched. She loved us all. She always wanted to do everything for everybody. We all went through some stuff. And I went to rehab and she went down there.
It looks like the mail was sitting up at the...
In 90s Grand Rapids, those looking to buy sex shopped by car, not keyboard. If prostitution had a business address, this was it. A 3-mile stretch of Division Avenue, a gritty artery that pulsed through the heart of Grand Rapids. On corners from Wealthy Street to 28th, sex workers, often trapped by addiction and traffickers, advertised their services.
I go down on Division and grab her, put her in my car and tell her, you are not part of this world like this. How are you learning this? Why are you doing this to yourself? Oh, you need to get out of here. It's not safe for you. But it's safe for you?
According to police reports, it was Linda McHugh's boyfriend who reported her missing. He told police she had called him upset and crying around 3 in the morning, asking to be picked up at a party store on Division south of Burton. But when he got there, he told police McHugh was gone. She has never been found. As winter settled in that January of 94, so too did a deadly menace. On the second day of the new year, it would claim a second victim, 29-year-old Lisa Oatberg, a mom of 3 struggling with a crack addiction. Police say Oatberg was last seen around 4:30 in the morning, getting into a vehicle at Division and Cottage Grove, a mile north of Linda McHugh's regular spot.
I have articles going back to the beginning.
It's been 29 years since Candy Caterberg's world forever changed, since the woman at the center of it disappeared.
She's pretty young in that picture.
Caterberg was 9 the last time she saw her mom, Lisa Oatberg. It was Christmas Day, 1993.
I remember she got me like press-on fake fingernails and a Barbie doll, and she tried to do what she could with the little that we did have. She was feisty. She was loud. She had an opinion. She'd let you know, but she had the biggest heart. She would help anybody.
But Oatberg needed help too, stuck in the vice grip of the crack cocaine epidemic.
Towards the end, it was a little rough, because that last picture really does kind of speak volumes. She looks pretty messed up, and I look very unhappy.
There was a time Caterberg resented her mom, but no more.
I think she had a lot to deal with herself. She didn't have the best childhood. If I look back at who I was at 23, I've had many years to grow and change and develop and make better choices in my life, and she just didn't have that option. Somebody took that option away.
It was a grandmother walking with her husband and their granddaughter who found her. Muskegon police say she spotted feet sticking out of a bush near Hackley Avenue and Stein Street, 40 miles northwest of Grand Rapids. Lisa Oatberg had been missing 3 months. Caterberg found out watching the news.
And I remember everybody was kind of looking at me, but I was excited that they had found my mom. I didn't realize finding her body meant that she was dead.
Oatberg was found naked. She had been strangled.
Police have several leads in the death of a local woman.
3 decades later, Caterberg wants to know whose face her mom saw at the end and what she endured.
I want to know the facts. That's how my brain works. All of them. And even when I was little, I wanted to know, but the police said no.
What Candy Caterberg didn't know, that answer was about to change.
Yes, I was calling to see if I could get any information on my mom's case.
That's coming up later, but first, after the break, the deadliest season and early suspects. The serial attacks on Grand Rapids women began with the disappearance of Linda McHugh in late 1993 and the murder of Lisa Oatberg in early 94. By summer of 1996, 4 more women had been murdered and 3 more had vanished. Then came the deadliest season of all.
Sure, Mom, I can do that. What would Billy like to know about the MMIW? What would Billy like to know about the MMIW? What it is? It stands for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. Why do we care? Because they're humans. The 14th is MMIW Awareness Day, so I'll be at my courthouse with a sign creating awareness, whether it's me by myself or have anybody there with me. I'd like Warrior Nun to get up here and talk about some things myself. But well, let's see. In 2022, there were over 5,800 missing Indigenous women that went missing, and there was only like 111 of them that were actually even filed as police reports. See, that means there was 5,500 or 5,800 missing any people, regardless of their skin color. That there would be like 5,800 filed police reports. They're being kidnapped and murdered and trafficked for sex, and it's wrong, and our country's not doing shit about it.
Police say they have identified another one of the victims.
The most recent body found here in this field.
It was strangled or the cause is undetermined.
Medical examiners confirmed that it is a female.
The victims are similar, most with a history of drugs and prostitution. The 10th
It shouldn't
woman
matter
found
what their
dead,
history is.
believed murdered.
As the leaves began their annual descent in late summer 96, the body count spiked. 6 women found murdered within 3 months, 4 in October alone, 2 within 2 days. But then, in fall 96, the killing season seemed to stop abruptly. In the end, it had stretched 3 years and likely claimed 17 lives in all. 4 of the women vanished. 13 were
What's up,
found
James? I'm doing all right,
their
bud.
bodies scattered mostly in lonely woods in Kent, Muskegon, and Ottawa counties, but not their last known locations. Those were chillingly confined. Police records show nearly all of the victims vanished from this 3-mile stretch of Division Avenue. Daughters, sisters, wives,
Wow.
moms, missing at first for a week, a few months, 2 years in one case, until they were stumbled upon by a guy looking for cans, a bait seller heading out to trap minnows, a city worker relieving himself, boys looking for a climbing tree.
And the body was just laying right there. It's real decomposed.
Wow.
This game, you're not ready for.
Yeah, I don't care about it either, so fuck off.
In 8 of the 13 murders, it was too late to determine a death cause. Of the other 5, 4 were strangled, 1 was beaten to death.
While police won't say whether they think the killings are connected, family members of some victims are already convinced.
10 or 12 dead girls. I mean, what else are you supposed to think?
There are sufficient similarities to cause us to go the next step.
In October 96, with bodies showing up almost weekly, police formed a regional task force, and the FBI stepped in too.
We have a full-time FBI agent assigned to the task force.
Have you ever been convicted of any other offenses, Mr. Lacey?
Yes, sir.
By December 96, investigators had identified a man, Jamal Lacey, described in court records as the primary suspect in the murders of sex workers.
Investigators say Lacey tried to strangle a 15-year-old prostitute with an extension cord back in March of 1995.
I don't fault them for doing their job because I do know a lot of prostitutes. I do know a few of them that were killed.
Jamal Lacey was sentenced to life in prison for choking 2 women who survived, but he denied killing anyone.
Waste their time, as well as my time, because, like I said, I haven't got anything to do with these.
At Lacey's sentencing, prosecutors said murder charges may follow, but they never did, and detectives would later develop other suspects.
Gregory Kelly was a very dangerous and violent individual.
In 2004, nearly a decade after the serial killings, Mark Burns, now retired from the sheriff's department, was assigned to one of the unsolved murders.
All those women that we came in contact with said that he was incredibly ruthless and violent to them.
Gregory Kelly, never charged in any of the murders, was sentenced in 2005 for transporting sex workers. He died from complications of COVID-19 while in prison.
I don't believe for 1 minute that one person had killed each of those people in the mid-90s. I think that just based on information in the hundreds of interviews that we did, that there's probably 2 to 3 different individuals that are responsible for the murders.
When we interviewed that retired detective in February 22, he predicted correctly that DNA would soon lead to a break. He predicted something else too, based on a private lab's analysis of crime scene DNA. The lab determined in at least one of the murders, police were looking for a white man. Decades earlier, some victims' families feared police had stopped looking for anyone.
Police have been tracking down hundreds of tips since October, but now the leads are running dry and maybe the money too. Investigators say it may be time to break up the task force.
It may be more a matter of resources. Are all the agencies going to be able to commit that type of manpower to this the task force?
I strongly believe that if my daughter and the other girls didn't have a label as prostitutes and drug users, that the investigation would continue.
I agree.
Kathleen Robinson's daughter, 27-year-old Sonia Campos, was found murdered in Southwest Grand Rapids in fall of '96. For months after the murder, Robinson refused to be silenced.
I just think it's unfair.
But nearly 3 decades and no answers later, Robinson's voice is weary, and her family fears she'll leave this earth without knowing who killed her daughter. She's in poor health, so it was Campos' sister who pleaded for help at the family's annual memorial last year.
26 years, we don't know who did it, why they did it. We need answers.
You know, even now, it's like I'm like shaking right now.
So does the family of Sherry Stewart Brown, a 32-year-old mother of 4 who vanished in the middle of the murderous fall of '96.
She was fiercely protective of me. I was the youngest. And so when people would come at me, she would kind of pick up my battles for me. She was very strong-willed.
They were just 13 months apart, Deborah Williams and her sister, Sherry Stewart Brown.
She was a good person. She was a good mom.
She was also her sister's best.
Not to be rude, but it's not MMIW. Okay, my bad here.
People are going missing. Kids are going missing. Women are going missing. It doesn't matter who they are or what their race is or anything. It shouldn't matter, especially in Canada. But, you know, there's a lot of people that tell you it does.
We're going to fly up Prince George, and then what's sort of on the agenda?
I guess we need to think about where I'm going to go to try to find some of these people. They're a little bit on the criminal side, so I don't anticipate them wanting to be happy that I'm in their face at their door. So we'll just wing it, and things look bad, run like hell.
Okay. Growing up here, I had no idea that women were going missing and being murdered and that more often than not, those women were Indigenous. And it was around 2002 that the Highway of Tears started being talked about a lot more publicly, and started learning about this other place in the province where, again, women were going missing and being murdered. Most of the cases are unsolved, and once again, most of those women were Indigenous. Working as a journalist in the city, I learned about this guy named Ray, who is an ex-cop, and he's been investigating some of these unsolved cases on his own time, and he's agreed to let us come with him to show us what he's all about, and also really curious where he fits into the bigger picture of the Highway of Tears.
Hello.
Hello. Unfortunately, what's been going on there for a long time. We're here in Prince George, which is the largest city in northern British Columbia. About 70,000 people live here. And this is also the edge of what people call the Highway of Tears, which is Highway 16, 754 kilometers between here and Prince Rupert on the coast. And if you go by the RCMP numbers, 9 women have gone missing or been murdered along that specific stretch of the highway. If you ask First Nations groups or just the communities along this route, they'll tell you that number is much higher. Ray is in Prince George tracking a man he thinks may have been involved in one of the Highway of Tears murders. He won't give us details about which case. The person that you're hoping to speak to, tomorrow or the next couple of days.
Yeah, he's a low-level drug dealer and pimp.
And you've never spoken to this person before?
No, I can't find him. I'm getting closer, though. I mean, his name came from what I consider to be a good source.
So there are other people around that...
There are people that know. There's people, street workers in Prince George, they know.
If you've been trying to track down this person for years, do you have a lot of anticipation about what that might look like?
I think I'll be the first person to confront him. So, I don't know what that's going to be like.
Do you actually sit down and just look at somebody in the eyes and ask them straight out, did you kill this person?
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd probably explain why I'm there and then see what happens.
I can't imagine. I mean, we're supposed to ask people hard questions, but I don't think I've ever asked someone, did you kill somebody?
Hey, excuse me. Have you got a minute? 1 minute. Thank you.
We've been following Ray around since this morning now, and he wants to take us to this old mill site that's apparently close to here. I guess this is the sort of situation that you really start to question whose toes we're stepping on or how far he's going to go.
No, there's a lock.
It's locked.
Yeah.
What have you heard about this place?
Well, I have heard a rumor that some of the missing people may have been disposed of in a beehive burner.
And what's a beehive burner?
A beehive burner used to be used by mills to dispose of wood chips. So they would blast them in, burn them up, and then, I guess, haul the ashes away. I know that there was one here. This whole area is kind of interest to me because of various things that I've heard. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to go and have a look.
Do you have any reason to think that some body would be here specifically?
Maybe.
I've read, that RCMP have sent you a cease and desist letter at some point.
Yeah, I had given them some information and I wanted to make sure that this was all clarified in writing. So I sent a letter to the staff sergeant in charge of EPANA and said, I'm coming up north to work in a week or two, and unless you object, this is what I plan to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent me a letter back and more or less said, not only will you not do that, but you'll not get involved in any of the cases, or you face the possibility of an obstruction of justice charge. It's an interesting situation because, at least in this province, where legislation outlines what we can do and can't do.
Right.
So there's nothing illegal going on.
Private investigators in British Columbia are governed by a statute that gives them many of the same powers police have, including investigating cases without obstruction from the public and executing warrants. We're here at the RCMP detachment in Prince George. One of the local detachments that refused to speak to us. National headquarters also didn't want to talk to us for this piece. They didn't want to give us a statement. They instead referred us to their report released earlier this year into missing and murdered Indigenous women. British Columbia has the highest number of unsolved cases. 18 of those are the responsibility of an RCMP investigative group called EPANA. It was created to investigate the unsolved cases along the Highway of Tears. Their area has since expanded. EPANA has had their funding cut multiple times over the last few years. We don't know what's left of the task force, but they are meant to be actively working on these cases. Claudia Williams' sister, Alberta, was murdered in Prince Rupert in 1989. Police have not made any arrests and have no leads. Ray has been working on her case for 5 years.
Alberta and I were working in a cannery to make some quick money. And our last payday, we went to Bogey's Cabaret. There was a bunch of her friends, kind of a different age group, so I didn't really want to sit down. So I just went, I mingled around. I walked back, checked on the table, seen Alberta laughing her head off. Just, they were having fun. And Alberta said, Claudia, come on, we're going to a party. My boyfriend at the time, he distracted me and I looked that way. Then I turned around, Alberta was gone. So was a group of people. It was like something just came and lifted them from that corner. That's how fast it was. My heart started pounding. It's like I knew right away that'd be the last time I saw her.
Do you know if she ever made it to that party?
Well, the police are not giving me any answers about that. Like I sit there and I go, well, Alberta was sitting there, and so was sitting there, so-and-so was sitting there. I try to think, I'm going, oh, am I missing anybody? Constantly investigating in my own mind.
So this goes through your mind every day.
A lot of it is guilt. If I didn't turn away for a second, I probably would have went with my sister to that party and she would be alive.
You'd be gone too.
Do you think you know who did this?
I'm pretty positive I know who did it. Still an open investigation. That's why it makes it so hard. You feel helpless. I keep in touch with Ray more than I do the police. Any leads that I have, I can relay them to Ray. If I didn't have Ray there, I don't know. I really don't know. But Ray's got a passion for this type of thing. I really admire him for the work that he does.
A few days after our interview with her, Claudia calls and tells us the RCMP updated her on her sister's case for the first time in 9 years.
So, are you surprised that she just heard from police after we went there and interviewed her?
I'm very surprised. Because I know, well, we've both been trying to get the police to talk to her in particular because her and I are both convinced that we have a really viable suspect for her sister's murder. I'm curious why all of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, one would like to hope that it's not because someone like a journalist is poking around.
I mean, it's a good thing, and I guess that, really we shouldn't be questioning it, but you have to ask why.
Ramona Wilson's body was found along Highway 16 just outside Smithers in 1995. Her family now lives in Prince George.
Are you still in touch with the Wilson family often? Or, because I know obviously we talked to Claudia and have a sense of the relationship with her, but how?
I've talked to them, fairly often. I was up here a few months ago and met with Brenda.
Have you had any good leads on her case?
I have. I actually gave information to the police. But I don't know what happened with it.
Ray says he has as little contact as possible with the families he's working for to avoid giving them false hope.
Our family has been receptive to Ray. Like he gives us insight on things that we have been able to look into ourselves and, just to give ourselves peace of mind. He has a deep interest in trying to solve, the cases, just because he understands what we're going through.
So the circumstances in which she sort of went missing initially was that she was going to some sort of graduation party?
Yeah, she was going to meet up with her friends. She possibly got a ride right on our main street by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been somebody she knew.
Do you feel like your family's been let down by, even just generally the system in Ramona's case and what happened to her?
Oh, definitely. It was really difficult to get a full view of the roles of the RCMP at the time, the roles of victim services, the roles of Crime Stoppers.
Did it stop then?
Many of those women were a part of our Friendship Center family, and I knew them in that way as part of our family. And so, the Highway of Tears, I think that's a really good definition.
Did it get stopped then?
In terms of bringing attention to the issues, but I don't think that we can ever forget that those were women, those were individual people that meant a lot to a lot of people. So that's really important, I think. We knew Ayla Auger really well as well. She was only 14 She was a baby.
Yeah. Ayla's death seemed to really rock people.
Yeah.
Was it something about her, or was it just that she was so young?
Many of the murdered and missing women and girls, their bodies don't get found, right? And hers was found relatively quickly after it happened. So I think, you know, just the combination of things.
You haven't seen this?
No, I haven't seen this before.
This doesn't seem like a hidden place. I mean, it's not that far from the highway.
No, and that's what surprises me. If you're going to come down the side of the road there with a body, that's not an easy thing to do for anybody. And so why are you stopping there when you can come 50 feet more? That's bizarre.
In 2006, when Ayla went missing, that was when I just said, fuck this, enough is enough. This is ridiculous. I think really then is when I really started to say, okay, we got to do something. It's no longer good just to have a rally because people aren't listening anyways, right? So what do we need to do? When we are asking for the national inquiry, the question that begs to be answered is, why hasn't anything been done? We understand that this is an issue. Stephen Harper says it's not on his radar right now, and that is an Aboriginal issue, for heaven's sakes. That's the leader of Canada. That's systemic racism right there, to say, oh, it's an Aboriginal issue. It doesn't affect us. Well, if it did affect white women living in Ottawa, do you think that we'd be having a discussion if there should be a national inquiry? Of course it would be an inquiry. It's not an Aboriginal issue. It's a Canadian issue.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And every Canadian citizen should be up in arms. I think the Highway of Tears also represents the relationship that we have with the RCMP and the lack of trust. It is absolutely different if you imagine what if it was my sister? What if it was my daughter? Granddaughter that went missing. What would you do? And what would you expect the government to do? And what would you expect the RCMP to do?
How active do you think these investigations are? I mean, obviously, you're not with EPANA. But if they were actively investigating, someone would say, oh, I just talked to the RCMP. Like, so. Do you have a sense of how active these investigations are?
I don't think they're active now at all. I think, you know, while EPANA was spending their $25 million, there's a difference in focusing and
I don't know if it's still streaming. What's up, Wendy?
Wait, is the stream back on again? Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's back on.
I don't know.
Yeah, how stupid, eh? If someone wants to have copyright claims on this kind of subject, because you want to replay it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just wait generally the stream.
Silent, you know?
Yeah. Well, whoever owns that particular content just wants to keep it for themselves, generally. Or it's just like stupid. Anyway, what else you got for us, boss?
I don't know. I'm just going to start working on my sign and I kind of fucked off work the last few days, well, about the last week or so. So I'm kind of broke, but oh man,
Well, maybe you can just read stuff out from another page or something.
Yeah.
And then just get the conversation going that way.
Yeah, we can do that.
But this stuff makes me sad watching this. You upset me, G. Well, you don't upset me, but it's just the government upsets me by the lack of action.
It's very sad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It is. It is. And I mean, some of it really, truly upsets me. Like, you see, just, well, everyone's someone beautiful and someone's mother, child, all the rest of it, who's probably going through some horrible traumatic thing. And it's not even everyone anyway. It's only a minority of people that would obviously have mental and health issues, and the government just goes, oh, well, as we discussed one other time, oh, but they're a hooker or they're this or they're that. We're not going to spend too much time on this person. It's like, what the fuck?
What got me was they don't want anybody outside, you know, of the police and whatever else governmental people doing any research or asking questions or helping. That was like,
of course not, because then that department's got to justify their negligence on why they failed to do anything or stuff all.
Right. And it shouldn't matter when you have a missing person, how many people you have looking for that missing person.
And it shouldn't matter how many people that person's allegedly being, you know, to keep it YouTube friendly, promiscuous with, or what drugs they're taking or whatever. Because at the end of the day, there's someone's freaking family member saying, "Where's your family member gone? Someone please help me find them."
A person's background, yeah, a person's background should not dictate whether they get looked for or not.
Well, we know that, but unfortunately,
The only thing that matters is if they're missing. Right, but it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't.
Oh yeah, we know that. Normal people know that. Yeah, it disgusts me. Truly disgusts me.
It really is. Disgusting.
And I guess you also get people wasting police resources on shit. And of course, if someone famous or wealthy child goes missing, that's where your resources are going to go to quick smart.
Right.
Yep.
Sad but true, in my opinion.
Mine too.
I just always do that, in my opinion, just to keep it YouTube friendly. And when I say in my opinion, I'm not speaking for everyone, because everyone can speak for themselves, sort of thing. But yeah, no.
Right. No, because I don't know everybody's opinion either.
No.
Right.
No, and it's just sad that until one of their family members go missing, or one of their friends' family members go missing, then it's suddenly a topic worth discussing. It's like, well, no, it should have been worth discussing beforehand. Because as you said at the start there, G2 is somebody's, or the documentary thing you had at the start there, someone's family member. Who gives a shit what they've freaking done, who they've done it to? Something's happened to them. They've gone missing. You know, they might not even be dead yet. They could be friggin' just like laying in a friggin' ditch somewhere, waiting for someone to find them and get them to the doctors and save their life. And that stuff has actually happened in time, you know, as we all know.
Right.
Shocking. Even this, you know, waiting 48 hours crap till someone's properly missing. No. Certain people have got certain routines that they don't stray outside of. And when that person doesn't turn up for that normal, everyday routine, something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all I know is it's a major fucking issue, and like in 2022, there was a little under 5,800 cases of missing Indigenous women reported, and only 121 of them ever even got reported or filed, not reported, but filed as a case by the police departments.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a fucking issue. That's a fucking issue. That's a
It is an
major
issue.
fucking issue.
Very much so. Very much so.
Why are we just okay to let this happen? I don't get it.
I think sadly because the way the world's just always been, always heading. I mean, once upon a time, you know, me being, I call myself a caramel person because I'm not black and I'm definitely not white, so I always say I'm caramel. So, I mean, I've experienced racism and stuff like that. And it's amazing the change of people's attitudes when they realise that I've actually been adopted by white people from when I was a week old. So I've actually seen tables instantly spin when they realise who my dad is and shit like that. And it's like, well, it shouldn't fucking matter who my dad is.
Right.
Right.
You know,
and that's just a perfect example of racism.
You know, this whole racial issue, like it's a big thing for me. You know what I mean? Like, like if people think that me being white has stopped me from experiencing people being racist towards me, well, you're dead wrong. Like, oh my god.
What are you talking about? White trash? Just kidding.
Right. But I'm just saying, like there's a certain word that gets put down in music, okay, all the time, okay. It's with a soft and not a hard right? Now, this word can be said by every single race in the world besides white people. That seems pretty racist to me.
Yeah, and you know what? I agree. I agree.
You know what I mean? It's not that I want to go around saying this word, but if people want to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, that's the perfect example of what racism is. When one race is not allowed to do one specific thing that every other race can do, that is racism. That's racism.
Yeah. And it actually annoys me. Something that really annoys me about that particular, it rhymes with Tigger word, is how black people want to throw it around easily. And it happens in Australia too, with the Australian Aborigines and that sort of stuff. How's it going, me, Tigger? And it's like, man, but if someone else said that, you'd be jumping down their throat. What makes it okay for you to even use that word in the first place?
I mean, for real. So I don't know how much about world history you know, Wendell Outback, but I know enough that I know that back when people were being brought over on boats, that Africans weren't the only one being brought back over on boats as slaves. Like, there's a little hidden history in our country, in America here, that's that's hidden from 90% of everybody. Most people never even realize or ever know that the Irish were literally traded as slaves, just like the Africans were. We were actually my ancestors were actually valued to be worth less than the African slaves coming over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they had a term for my Irish ancestors, and that was the green nigger. And if you don't believe me, before you want to go ahead and jump out of your skin that I just dropped that word, like do your history, do your research. That's what they were called. That's what Irish people were called. So,
and it's funny how different races' words also travel across the waters. So in Australia, because I had to actually do my research on the origin of this word, and that word is coon, being raccoon because of the black around the raccoon's eyes and crap like that. Even in Australia, I used to get called coon. And I was like, what? I didn't even understand it. I was thinking, wow, that's actually what's predominantly an American racist derogatory term.
Right.
I was being called that. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you calling me now?
Like, I mean, for real. Like, I don't, like, if you're a human
and that's
being,
the origin of coon, it's because of raccoon.
Well, it's because raccoons have the, blacks around their eyes.
Yeah, black. Yeah, that's it.
Ridiculous.
That's the only friggin', like, yeah. It goes to show the intelligence of the people that originally started them stupid words.
Yeah. And see, and I know this, okay? I've been called a pedophile. I've been called all kinds of creepy shit, all kinds of fucked up shit. But I don't let them words get to me because they're words. Like, I know that I am not this thing that I was called. So why would I let this word do damage to me in my own personal life?
Well,
it just seems like
I don't let those words. Yeah, I don't let those words affect me until it does actually affect my personal life.
Right. I get that. I get that. I 100% get that. But you know what I mean? So
it's really funny because when my two girls were growing up, because both of them have got caramel skin, and when they were growing up, I used to call them all the black nicknames under the sun, and people used to pull me up and go, "Oh my God, how can you call them that?" It's like, well, because I was called those names all my childhood, and when they get called those names, they're going to be bulletproof. It won't affect them, and it actually worked as planned. I actually used to call my two girls my two little coon kids and shit like that. And people are like, "Oh, you can't say that." I'm going, man, I grew up with all these hurtful, horrible words, and they affected me. When someone calls that to my kids now, I've already already conditioned them just to ignore it and just laugh and ha ha ha.
Right.
And it actually did work exactly as planned. I can guarantee you.
You know, for me, here's what it comes like. Here's what it is for me. Like, there are words that people have called me. Like, if you don't think I have been called the N-word, you're wrong. I have been. I've been called way worse words than the N-word. Like, I mean, but the words that get to me are words like cocksucker. Call me a cocksucker and watch. You know what I mean? Call me a son of a bitch, and those are more harmful to me.
The word that really gets on my goat is the C word. That is my most hated cuss word.
Right.
I'll use it, but I'll save it for special occasions when someone really has earned that word.
But it's like this, okay? So like here in America, and I'm sure it's like this in Australia. Well, I would imagine it is anyway. So we have African Americans who wear shirts that say Black Power, Black Pride on them. We have Native Americans that got shirts and hats and clothes that say Native Pride and Native Power on them. We've got Hispanic groups and people that wear shirts that say Brown Pride and Brown Power And I've even seen Asian pride and Asian power. But if a white person puts on a shirt that says white pride or white power on it, you're a fucking racist. Now that in and of itself seems racist to me. Why is it every other race in the world can be proud about their fucking heritage, but when it's a white person, it's fucking racist? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I really don't get it.
No, me neither. Me neither.
I mean, if you want to get down to it and technical about it, that's exactly what it is. That's racism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm proud to be a white man. Maybe I'm fucking proud to be a white guy. Maybe I'm proud to be white. Why can't I display? Why when I want to display my pride for my heritage, I'm a racist?
Yeah, why can't you run around wearing a shirt that says WLM?
I mean, for real. If I went around wearing a shirt that says white pride or white power on it, I guarantee you I'm getting my ass jumped and I'm getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, I think if you use the white power word though, that kind of goes back to what swastika and that's what people are going to immediately associate that terminology with.
Yeah. But I mean,
white lives matter shouldn't be a problem. If all lives matter, it should be just ALM.
Yeah, I mean, for real. Like people are like, well, you seem to be racist, and I tell them, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I am racist. I'm about one race and one race only. That's the human race. We're all humans. So I'm about all of our race, dude. We all are human, the human race. I am about the human race. Racism only exists because people allow it to be a problem in their fucking in their life. Like that's why it exists. Like a lot of people.
I do believe that some people don't know any better. Some people don't know any better because that's just the way they've been brought up as well. They've had it instinctively bred into them.
Right.
Sadly, but true.
Yes. But then again, with the way information flows these days and in our society these days, there should be, everybody should know, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part. I'm just saying. I think I got shut down. I honestly do. So.
The what?
I think I got shut down.
No, because you're still playing. You're still playing on my other device.
Oh, am I? Just nobody's here to talk about
Yeah. So you're still actually. Yeah, so you're still actually playing on my second device.
All right.
That's how I knew that your stream had come back up again.
Maybe go down, come back up.
I don't know. No, I think I'm just gonna head out to work. I think I'm just gonna head out to work. I'm gonna work on my awareness sign, and probably do a tie-dye for tomorrow. It's kind of fucked up. I feel like I'm losing track with everybody. You know what I mean? But it's all good because I'm not.
Sorry, I'm just outside with the lawnmower. I should have muted myself. Sorry, I'm just filling up my dog water. I'll be back away from the noise in a second.
You're fine, sweetheart. But
yeah, I'm not
going anywhere anytime soon. So.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get on up out of here. I'm kind of been like, I gotta get a hold of my buddy's mom. She hasn't called me for 2 days. I'm kind of worried about her.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys being here. I really do. Keep on pushing forward, I guess. You know what I mean? Like we just the lack of people here shows me exactly how important this issue is with a lot of people, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm not going to stop doing it. So there you go. That's just me.
Right.
So.
The right people will come.
Yep. Yep. The right people will come when they're supposed to come.
Yep, for sure. All right, we go and get yourself ready for work and have yourself an awesome day.
All right, you too, sweetheart. Thanks for being here, Outback. I really appreciate the support.
Thank you, Wendy.
No problem. No
Mom,
problem,
you okay?
lady.
You okay, Mom?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We can talk backstage if you want, lady. Because when she ends the stream, we can talk
I can do that.
backstage.
I'll end it real quick. Have a good one, everybody.